Heritage homes are residential properties that have been designated as having a special heritage interest. Some of these homes look absolutely beautiful. So join me as we take a look at 15 of the most amazing heritage homes. Number 15. The Hearst Castle. While the United States is known for having supersized food, cars, medical bills, and college tuition, it turns out that it's also home to some absolutely massive houses. Of these, the Hearst Castle stands out. While it has absolutely zero attachment to royalty, this so-called castle was built on the central coast of California by billionaire William Randolph Hearst, and it absolutely is decked out in luxuries. After all, not only does it have 165 rooms, but it has exclusive features such as decadent pools flanked by statues, an artwork collection filled with some of the world's finest masterpieces, and even what was once the world's largest private zoo. If you happen to be close to San Simeon, California, I'd recommend giving this estate a look. Number 14. Mount Vernon. George Washington is perhaps one of the most recognizable political figures of all time, so it should come as no surprise that his mansion at Mount Vernon is considered to be a national treasure. It's located in Fairfax County, Virginia. The home and plantation was actually constructed by George Washington's father, Augustine, and was built in a loose Palladian style. It has several interesting rooms, with some of the coolest being the Blue Room, which is an entirely blue guest bedroom, the Yellow Room, which is like the Blue Room but, well, yellow, and the Piazza, which provides beautiful views of the rest of the property. In any case, if you're an American history fanatic, I'd suggest giving Mount Vernon a visit. Number 13. Drayton Hall. Of all the old plantation homes out there, few were quite as groundbreaking as Drayton Hall. Built in Charleston, South Carolina in 1738, it was the first example of a Palladian architecture in the United States, as it has a double projecting portico that's similar to that of Andrea Palladio's Villa Cornaro near Venice, Italy. In any case, the estate served as a plantation for many years, and due to its old age, it's home to one of the country's oldest African-American cemeteries. It's also the only plantation house on the Ashley River to survive intact through both the Revolutionary and Civil Wars, and due to its historical and cultural significance, this has been designated as a National Historic Landmark. To top this off, Drayton Hall stands apart for being completely unfurnished so as to highlight the home's original materials and architectural details. So if you're looking for a cool heritage home to visit, you should consider booking a tour there. Number 12. The Keats Shelley House. If you ever get a chance to travel to Rome, then you will undoubtedly visit ancient sites such as the Colosseum and Roman Forum, and more modern buildings such as St. Peter's Basilica and the Pantheon. However, if you want to see a home that has its roots in English rather than Italian culture, then you may want to check out the Keats Shelley House. Located just off the Spanish Steps, the building contains the library, exhibition space, and apartment rented by famous English poet John Keats and English artist Joseph Severn between 1820 and 1821. The house is absolutely beautiful, as it not only has many of the trappings found in a Victorian home, but also has one of the world's most extensive collections of memorabilia, letters, manuscripts, and paintings relating to not only Keats and Shelley, but also to other literary greats such as Lord Byron, William Wordsworth, Robert Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and Oscar Wilde. Therefore, a visit here is a must for any literature lover. Number 11. The Glass House. While the Glass House may look extremely modern from the outside, it was actually built all the way back in 1949. Located in New Canaan, Connecticut, the concept was the brainchild of architect Philip Johnson. He wanted to push the boundaries of what a livable house could be, so rather than build using bricks, he created a glass masterpiece. The Glass House is only 1 story tall and rather small in terms of size, as it fits a kitchen, dining, and sleeping areas all into one glass-enclosed room. Despite its simplicity, it sent shockwaves around the architectural community, as the fact that Johnson had the confidence to both build it and live inside of it was a surprise to many. In any case, the estate has grown to hold a total of 14 structures over the years, and it's a must-see if you want to get a glimpse into what influenced the beginnings of modern architecture. Number 10. Chatsworth House. England is known for being home to castles, palaces, and estates, and of these, Chatsworth House is certainly a standout. It's located near the town of Chesterfield, and it's the estate of the Duke of Devonshire, which is a title that's been held by the Cavendish family for generations. The home was first built all the way back in 1708 and features a total of 126 rooms, although only about 20 or so are open to the public at any one time. However, they still are a treat to visit, as not only are the walls adorned with precious artwork, but the staircases, ceilings, and balconies also have luxurious fittings, making the entire home quite regal. Beyond the beautiful rooms, the outside also has an incredible set of gardens, with some of the most notable including a sensory garden, kitchen garden, and cottage garden. As such, with so much beauty inside and out, it should come as no surprise that Chatsworth has often been ranked as the UK's most well-loved country house. Number 9. Casa Loma. If you come from Toronto, then you've certainly heard of Casa Loma. This massive Gothic-style mansion is located in the Midtown area, and it was completed in 1914 for the modern equivalent of about $110 million by wealthy financier Sir Henry Pillatt. While it features a total of 98 rooms, there are some that are more impressive than others, and certain standouts include the Great Hall, wine cellars, and conservatory. However, while Sir Henry's mansion may have been beautiful, he didn't keep it for long. That's because after the city raised his property taxes from $600 to $1,000, he began to struggle to make payments, and he was ultimately evicted from the home in 1923. Despite this, Sir Henry reportedly still hangs around Casa Loma today, as his ghost has been seen wandering around the castle while his wife has been spotted tampering with the tapes and cameras when they're placed in her bedroom. While Casa Loma is an awesome place to visit on a day trip, I wouldn't suggest sneaking in at night. Number 8. Anne Frank's Annex. The Holocaust was undoubtedly one of the worst tragedies in human history, and when it comes to memorials, few places are quite as jarring as Anne Frank's Annex. Located at the back of Anne's father Otto's business, it consisted of a second floor, third floor, and an attic, and it was here that they stayed in almost complete silence for 2 years. However, while their annex was closed off from the rest of the building via a bookcase and secret entrance, there were a couple of people who knew about it, and in August of 1944, the hiding place was discovered by the Nazis. While everyone hidden in the annex save for Otto died during the war, the annex still stands, and it's furnished in such a way that it's almost identical to how it would have looked during the war. In any case, Anne Frank's Annex is a stark testament to the length the Jews were forced to take in order to survive the genocide, and it's a must-see if you ever travel to Amsterdam. Number 7. The Biltmore Estate. As far as large homes go, the Biltmore Estate is unique. It's considered to be the largest privately owned home in the country, and it comes in at almost 179,000 square feet, and perhaps unsurprisingly, it's the estate of the descendants of George Vanderbilt. For those of you who don't know, the Vanderbilts are one of the richest families from the American Gilded Age, with Cornelius Vanderbilt and his railroad and shipping monopoly largely being the cause of the family's fortune. All of this wealth allowed the Vanderbilts to make a massive home, and as far as the Biltmore estate goes, it's fully decked out. It was completed in 1895, and this 250-room home is filled with luxury such as an elaborate King Louis XV room that emulates the glamour of Baroque France, and a master bedroom that's complete with expensive paintings and beautiful furniture. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that few places are as glitzed up as the Biltmore Estate. Number 6. Green Gables. If you're a fan of Canadian literature, then you're probably familiar with Anne of Green Gables. It's the story of the childhood of a girl named Anne, and it's set in the Canadian province of Prince Edward Island. And while it certainly is a work of fiction, it turns out that at least part of the story is based in real life. While Avonlea was the name of the fictional town, it was based on the real-life town of Cavendish, Prince Edward Island, and the Green Gables house is very real and located within the town's limits. It was first built in the 1830s by a relative of author Lucy Maud Montgomery, and once her novel gained critical acclaim, Green Gables gained so much interest that it was bought by the Canadian federal government so it could be preserved as a heritage site. Now, this beautiful white and green painted house can be visited by all, and it's a must-visit if you're a literature lover. Number 5. The Winchester Mansion. Few houses on this list are quite as creepy as the Winchester Mansion. The inspiration for this home came from Sarah Winchester, who was the widow and heiress to the Winchester Rifles fortune. After a medium told her that she would build a house out west to house both herself and all the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, she set about doing so, beginning construction at an unfinished farmhouse in San Jose, California in 1884. From then until her death in 1922, the Winchester Mansion was her work in progress, and its design was downright weird. In order to confuse the spirits that she said had haunted her, she made the layout of the house extremely confusing. For example, the house has over 2,000 doors, with many either leading to dead ends, confusing passageways, or even open windows. There are a series of glass trap doors which can cause serious injury when activated. To top this off, the house also has 10,000 windows, with many either having strange designs or being installed on interior walls. As such, it's not a surprise that the Winchester Mansion is a pretty uncomforting place to visit. Number 4. Monticello. Few stately houses are quite as revered or as well known as Monticello. The home of founding father and third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, construction of it began after Jefferson inherited a large swath of land from his father at the age of 26, just outside of Charlottesville, Virginia. And it is famous for both being very well thought out and very controversial. Jefferson was heavily influenced by the design principles of ancient Roman, Italian Renaissance, and Baroque French buildings, which he learned about while serving as Minister of the United States to France. This led to him having a number of European design features throughout. In terms of the exterior, Monticello boasts a facade of elegant columns, a red brick and white-trimmed outer shell, and a large white dome. Inside, Jefferson selected designs associated with the fertility of the earth and religious symbols from classical Roman buildings, giving it a tasteful look. Monticello even has several ingenious devices, with the most notable including a large clock with 2 faces visible from the inside and outside, and a fireplace that conceals an elevator that goes down into the wine cellar. However, despite its fame, Monticello is also quite controversial. After all, at the back end of the home sits Jefferson's plantation, where he would employ slaves to cultivate tobacco and wheat, and the home was designed in such a way so that the slave quarters are literally and figuratively out of sight. Yet despite the controversy, Monticello is still well loved today, and has even earned itself a place on the American nickel. Number 3. The Palace of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles is undoubtedly one of the most extreme embodiments of luxury and opulence on planet Earth. It became what it looks like today under King Louis XIV, who was better known as the Sun King, and he expanded the chateau into a palace in several phases from 1661 to 1715. From about 1682 until the French Revolution, it served as both the official royal residence and the seat of government. And after the French Revolution was over, a good portion of the 2,300-room mansion was turned into a French art and history museum. However, the palace has been restored so that it's still more or less in the same state as it was during the reigns of the French kings, and there are some rooms in particular that are especially impressive. Perhaps the most famous of these is the Hall of Mirrors. Completed in 1684, it's a massive 73-meter-long Baroque reception hall, and it's adorned with over 300 mirrors in order to provide a striking lighting effect. To add to the grandeur, the Hall of Mirrors also has crystal chandeliers, gilded statues, and ceiling paintings, making it one of the most bedazzling rooms out there. The King's State Apartment is also notable, as it consists of 7 salons named after mythological deities that are supposed to propagandize a divine connection between Louis XVI and the ancient pantheon of the gods. If that wasn't enough, Versailles even has an incredible exterior, as its series of fountains, which include the Four Seasons fountains, the fountains of the Flight of the Animals, and the Neptune fountain, are all absolutely incredible. The Palace of Versailles truly is a wonder of the Western world. Number 2. Buckingham Palace. Few places are quite as well known as Buckingham Palace. It's the residence of the Queen of England and Prince Philip, and it's a focal point of British culture, as this 775-room palace is absolutely incredible in terms of both size and style. It was originally built as a small private retreat for Queen Charlotte back in 1762, although over time it's evolved into the principal royal residence. Some of the rooms within it are also pretty cool, with the most notable including the throne room, which is where the royals sit during their coronation, the white drawing room, where the royals congregate before an event, and a massive ballroom, which hosts many royal events. I'd say that living here, it must be pretty enjoyable. Number 1. The White House. When it comes to heritage homes, few are as luxurious or well defended as the White House. was originally completed in 1800 and extensively renovated after being burnt down during the War of 1812. It's absolutely massive in size too, as it has 55,000 square feet of floor space and a total of 132 rooms. While its rounded and columned white portico is perhaps its most recognizable feature, it's the inside that's truly impressive. Its most notable areas are its executive residence, West Wing, East Wing, and Eisenhower Executive Office Building, although it's the executive residence that is, in our opinion, the most interesting. That's because it not only has bedrooms and dining rooms for the president and his family, but also houses an impressive set of spaces such as a solarium, game room, gym, and diplomatic reception room. The executive residence is also home to a series of quirky parlors known as the Red Room, Green Room, and Blue Room, with each having different themes and unique antiques. Beyond the residence area, the West and East Wings are also very recognizable, as they house the important federal spaces such as the Oval Office, while the rest of the White House also includes modern amenities such as a tennis court, bowling alley, movie theater, jogging track, swimming pool, and a putting green. Beyond the features, the White House is also impressive due to its tight security. After all, while it is possible to get a tour through selected parts of the facility if you book 21 days in advance and pass a Secret Service background check, any unwelcome guest can quickly be sussed out and cordoned off. That's because every inch of the perimeter is surrounded by a complex set of infrared lasers that cover the sky, surface, and underground, and they're so sensitive that Secret Service agents have been known to storm into the White House only to find that the worrisome intruder was a squirrel. In any case, it's probably for the best that the security is so tight, given its beauty and amenities, and I bet that being able to stay there is pretty sweet too. Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.